Hello, Risen Esports, coming at you live today. We have the hype match in Champions League between Henlo and Risen's Most Wanted. I am Author Cook, providing color casting, and
This is Tame with your play-by-play. First time, but best play-by-play NA coming in surely.
we're just waiting for the teams to finish some last-minute stuff in the lobby, but we'll be bringing draft to you any minute now.
And we know that we can't mess up tonight because Rando Joe is subbing for RMW. So if we mess up, it's instant ban. Not that there's like a guillotine over our head or anything during this stream. I'm just tossing that out there.
But the quality of our seed and our individual respective leads definitely is dependent on the quality of our casting tonight. So, yeah.
So we should be starting the draft here in just a minute. We're actually just waiting for, it looks like we're waiting for RMW's jungler to hop in the lobby right now. And then we'll get the hype match started. If you guys want to say in chat who you think's going to win tonight, I know the crowd favorite is RMW, but everyone thinks Henlo is going to win. I was polling general chat earlier, so if you guys think that's changed at all, let us know. And it looks like we are starting the draft.
All right. I am bringing us into it.
So far, we're just waiting for the first ban here. Maybe they'll ban nobody. Maybe they're going to go faker mode and ban Garen or just leave it blank.
Well, that could always happen, but being as how this is a hype match and reputation is on the line in addition to standings, I feel like we probably will see something. Oh, well, I spoke too soon with the Camille ban coming down first.
You know, that's really not surprising to me right now. Camille's a super strong pick in top lane. She's a bully and a great lockdown. Again, same with Warwick, another bully, lockdown, great counter jungler. Very meta ban so far. You know, we are casting the Champions League tonight, so we're actually going to see, not Yasuo banned probably.
Well, one would hope. It certainly seems so far that both teams are definitely focused on banning out champions that allow a quick advantage gain.
Now, there you go. Evelyn, that's an interesting ban. I'm wondering if that's targeted. That is a little bit off meta. She's currently riding a little bit of a weak wave in 8.3. She's got some nerfs that hit her pretty hard. But, if somebody's really comfortable in a champion, especially a jungler, that can actually turn the tide of a game. And then we switch over to the Janna ban again. Disengage. It seems like CC is being banned out pretty heavily so far.
Very, very meta ban there.
So what would be the least meta ban you could see here? I'm going to go with
possibly see here. Well, if someone bans Skarner, I will be surprised. Or the Master Yi ban, maybe.
Master Yi. I'm going to go,
Master Yi.
I want to see a Sona ban or a first pick Sona.
Yeah, Sona has been nowhere near as oppressive as she used to be lately. Just with the recent rune changes in 8.2 and 8.3, as well as the minor nerfs that hit her more recently, I doubt we'll see it.
Also, the blank ban there, that was actually Tristana. Pro Draft was just being Pro Draft. As we switch over to the Galio ban, I'm really not surprised. And especially not surprised to see the first pick Vladimir. What is interesting is he can be both mid and top. So that's a dual threat first pick for RMW. At this point, Henlo doesn't know where he's going to play. Most likely mid, but it does give them that flexibility and a little bit of fear instilled in their tiny hearts.
Now, Vladimir most often picked top here. I'm not intimately familiar with any of the players on RMW, but is there any chance we see that going into the mid lane?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. I casted one of Suida's games already. He does seem to prefer tanky champions, so, Vladimir's, he's one of those weird, tanky mages, but he's not like a Cho'Gath or a Shen.
And we've got Gangplank and Tarek getting picked in response in Henlo's first round of picks.
And there's Rando Joe with the Varus. I even teased him about playing it, and he actually looks like he's going to go for it.
Now, it's really interesting seeing Varus getting picked in combination with the Tristana ban. Because that would seem to communicate to me that he's in some way. Uh, I, just maybe I'm crazy here, but I kind of feel like that indicates that the Varus is hoping to scale and maybe farm safely in the early game. And if you're banning out a Tristana, you're hoping to chop away anyone who can outscale you.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised really to see Henlo pick up a Kog'Maw here, though. I mean, really, especially with the Scion, it's hard to outrange his Devastate. So, I mean, Kog'Maw has that super long range, and, he scales really well with the Taric because he can just play turret with the Taric ult coming in.
Yep,
That's my prediction.
Taric definitely
But
does a
we'll
really
see.
good job of making up for Kog'Maw's kind of natural lack of escapes.
And I'm completely wrong, as per usual. Xayah is also one of those ones that's nasty with Taric. If somebody gets on your ADC, she can pop her ult, the Featherfly, and then Taric can chain his ult onto that, and then again, you have an ADC that's just going ham.
There's very little possible counterplay to that.
No, very little at all. Especially, say we're 5v5 with the Gangplank, zoning people off with the barrels. Xayah's so safe. Taric makes people safe. I mean, at this point, they can actually do an off-meta pick or maybe a comfort pick because I really like their first three.
All right, so coming into the second round of bans, we've got top ADC and support picked for probably both teams. But there is always the possibility Sion's getting sent top lane, Vladimir's getting sent mid. RMW so far has a very flexible draft setup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but personally, I've seen the power of Varus Jungle in 8.3. He clears camps in about 244 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. To answer questions coming in from the chat, this is Champion League, the hype match between RMW and Henlo. RMW running a 5-3 record so far, and Henlo on a 7-1.
So that was really good target bans there from RMW to take out the Azir and the Talia. I mean, in terms of, it does leave the Zoe open, which would be absolutely disgusting. But they're going to pick up Xin Zhao for now. I mean, obviously RMW's out of bans anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Very interesting, Henlo choosing to ban two very support-oriented champions. Rolling the dice that Sion is not meant for the support pick.
And there goes the Nunu coming in. That means that they're going to be going for, it has to be. It's tough to know what their last pick's going to be, but it's going to need to be something that hyper scales with AP if they really want to make use of that Nunu pick.
There's the
And it's off meta. I'm interested here. So far, I mean, I like Henlo's draft a lot more, but last time we casted RMW, their draft was completely off meta, and they went ham, and it was great.
Victor,
so we'll see what happens here.
Pick for Henlo. Oh boy. Just looking at it right here, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think Henlo's got the stronger comp.
Yeah, if I had to hand the W just to a draft, absolutely to Henlo, but that doesn't work. Like, every time that I've gone out on a limb and just picked based on draft, we don't know these players as well as they know each other. And I mean, obviously there's the comfort picks, and then there's, things such as, like, maybe they have 500 games on Kale, and I don't know that. So we'll see, maybe they've got some secret strats. Like I said, the Varus Jungle in 8.3 is very good. He can actually, he can kill one of the small raptors before he has to back at level 1. And that's a 10 gold pickup right there,
Yeah. So let's talk paths to victory, just based on the draft here. What is each of these two teams hoping to do in the laning phase, going into mid-game, and maybe late game?
I mean, Henlo's pretty obvious here, zoning. I mean, think about it. Gangplank the barrels. Taric's got the ultimate. Xayah's got the Featherfly. Xin Zhao, he has the Valiant Spear that can clear people out. Victor's, that ultimate is just complete area denial. So they're going to look at an area, Baron, Dragon, or just even in ARAMing it, running it down mid. They're going to be looking to control the area. With RMW, I think they're looking to outscale.
Yeah, and they do have, it does have to be said for their draft that they've got a lot of tools for getting through the zoning. Vladimir's Blood Pool can get to spots where that the other team is trying to deny. Kale just has that raw range with her attack.
Sion does have the charge, so they can really break it up What worries me though is, say Sion charges in and then instantly, Tarek ults, or Xin Zhao throws him backwards, or, Victor stuns him and locks him up.
That's
So
true.
there's a lot of counterplay here, but again, don't sell any team short. I'm not intending to be biased. If I am, I just definitely feel that Henlo has a smarter draft right now.
All right, and with the draft complete, we are just going to have champion select and then spectator delay, and we will be jumping right into game in a few minutes. So just more generally around the records that Henlo and RMW have brought so far. Henlo, of course, bringing a 7-1 record to the table. They have the second best record in Champions League so far. Man, I don't know. RMW is has lagged a little bit further behind, because it could definitely be argued they have not had as difficult a schedule, but they have brought a worse record. So I would definitely say they're the underdogs, not just based on the individual game draft that we have so far, but just looking more generally at their performance in the league up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both these teams are probably going to make playoffs and champions. And, it could be like a Team Liquid thing where they're not revealing their bazooka until playoffs. They're sitting there with, the handguns. And then come playoffs, they bust out the bazooka and they blow you away.
But on the other hand, a lot of people said that about TSM at this last Worlds, and there was no bazooka.
No, sometimes, you load the bazooka and it just blows up on yourself.
Very true. Very true.
So, Henlo could be the TSM of Risen. Hopefully for them that doesn't prove true.
Time alone will tell. And we're actually in communication with here, trying to figure out what the delay is.
I believe the delay is everybody wanting to say lul. Luel.
Sounds about right. And all right, we are finally headed into champion select on the client side, so shouldn't be too much longer here till we are jumping into game. Boy, just generally speaking here, I think that there is still room for surprises in RMW's comp. If I could, give one thing to them, because yes, there is a very obvious set of lanes for each of these champions to go, but there's always surprises. Varus,
I mean, absolutely.
Very obvious. Varus is going into the bot lane ADC role, but technically, Sion, Nunu, or Kayle could all go in that support slot. Maybe not should, but viably could.
Maybe not should. I like that. There's little tricks up their sleeve too. Like, I mean, Nunu blood boiling a Vlad, giving 40% AP. That's obscene with Vladimir's ultimate. That's crazy. With the Hemoplague, 40% AP boost, that's half of somebody's health right there.
Definitely. And while Tarek's ultimate on Henlo's side does bring a lot of mitigation of aggression to Henlo's team, they don't really have much else to save them when the zoning is broken through.
It's absolutely true. I mean, if you can get on a Gangplank or if you can get on a Victor, I mean, there's nothing they can do. So that's ultimately what it's going to boil down to. For me, what I want to see the most, actually, is Guida's Kayle. Like, I'm interested to see how he plays that out, especially when the big fights are going down. He's got the range advantage, but positioning on Kayle is so clutch. And I think that's why we don't see more Kayle in competitive play, because when the top players are, playing against her, they know exactly where she's going to be, how she's going to act. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can hang in the game here and how he actually participates in the fights.
I think that just looking at the lineup here, this is definitely going to be this is definitely on RMW's side going to be Varys's game to carry. If he can get in there, get past all of the zoning and just lay down the damage, and especially with his ultimate provide that CC to lock them down, I think that'll be the spear that gets them in.
Absolutely. I mean, think about this too. If Varys lands that ult and gets, 3 or 4 people, and Kale is there with the splash and the range and the speed, that's also disgusting.
Very, very much so. With Vladimir throwing down his ultimate to just increase and enhance all of that massive damage.
So we do have a bingo coming up here. And the free space is Sweeta Talks Trash. We have up here, we have Joe Feeds is one of them. So while we're, just waiting for the spectator delay here, I'd actually like to go over this bingo. RMW gives first blood. Wow, this is great. Nunu Kale doesn't work at all is one of the spots.
We're getting very spicy here. I love it.
Yeah, this is amazing. 4 spell books. I don't see that happening. I really don't think that happens.
What, 4 spell books on one champion?
No. 4 unsealed spell books. The summoner spell.
Oh, yes,
One jungler dies to a camp.
Oh my! I don't know. Maybe
that's Bronzodia. The forbidden one.
Oh man. I will say I think that given the nuttiness of just the general nuttiness of RMW's composition here, I do think we will see at least one surprising off meta rune page. But I don't know about 4 unsealed spell books. It's definitely not as good as it was.
That's actually one of my I love League of Legends. I've been playing it for almost 8 years. One of my big gripes right now is I feel that like the rune meta isn't really a meta at all. It's just like you take this on this champion. And they kind of gutted spellbooks, so there's not a whole lot of player agency or choice in runes right now. But if we do see 4 spellbooks, call me wrong.
And I definitely feel like Riot is kind of exacerbating that by how they've chosen to pursue game balance since the rune rework. How it hasn't really felt like it's so much about, well, let's buff the weakest runes so that there's a variety of strong picks. It's been more, let's nerf the strong ones so that there's no good picks.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems... But, that can also be argued for as well. Because that lets them balance around champions rather than balancing around runes and things that could happen or may happen.
Absolutely.
But, there's some that are very generic, but I actually feel like are fun. Electrocute's a big one. I play a lot of Talon, and there's nothing kind of like as great as just landing that, 3-hit combo and just seeing the electrocute just boom.
Oh, so, I have a duo partner that we would go ADC and support, and we would both run electrocute until Riot patched out that exploit where you're able to contribute to other players' electrocute stacks.
Yeah, that was a little bit gross. If you want to hear a really disgusting one for that would be Vel'Koz Misfortune.
Oh my god. Oof. Oof.
Vel'Koz Misfortune electrocute duo was absolutely disgusting.
Especially because Vel'Koz himself has in his own kit his research passive that increases his own damage.
I'm actually hoping that Vel'Koz does become meta. That's one of my 3 tricks, is a Vel'Koz, and I love him, and I love his kit, and I'd really love to see him played more.
It would be nice, but the thing is, I think it's just this tragic problem where there's not really anything he does that no other champ does better. Because if you want the long range artillery mage, Xerath is still on top of the pile for that.
Especially with the AP itemization changes in 8.4. Mid lane's about ready to get some spice added into it. I think a lot of characters like Talon and Akali are just going to absolutely be bullied out with the rise of Xerath again.
I actually do believe that this is going to be more chaotic than I do believe that this is actually going to be more chaotic than the meta leading out of the rune rework, because it's just so radical a change in itemization.
It's coming right in the middle of a split, and they only announced it about less than 2 weeks before it's going to go from PBE to live. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check out surrenderat20.net, and you can actually look at all the AP itemization changes, and we are getting the game started now.
Yes, we are in just 1 second.
There we go. Looks like we are live. You predicting any invasions here?
I don't think so, honestly, because there just isn't I don't see either side having a particularly strong level 1. There's just a lot of champions on both teams that rely heavily on the combo of more than one of their abilities. Possible exceptions being, I suppose Nunu, Scion on the one side, and Xin and Victor on the other.
It actually looks like Henlo's going all in.
Yeah, that is a 5-man. Oh, they are backing out after planting a deep ward, though.
Yeah, that's not a bad call either. So now they have the deep vision already set up. So that sets up some great counter jungling capabilities for them early game. And RMW didn't answer that. Henlo actually going and getting the deep vision, and as far as I could tell, they weren't even seen. So, they don't even know that that's there.
And it's very interesting to note that while RMW did go into the blue side of the other team's jungle, they didn't plant any wards. They didn't plant any deep vision.
If you actually peek down there, it looks like we're being colored wrong again. Nunu is going to go down and take their red. So it's kind of like passive-aggressive counter-jungling early right now. So we're going to go ahead and get to mid here. It is Vlad in the mid. So we're going to see, Vlad versus Victor. That was actually kind of what I predicted. That's going to be a farm lane. So go ahead and get your cows, get your milk, because we're going to be here a while.
Now both junglers starting at their, well, actually, no. Xin Zhao seems to have taken his top jungle first. Do you think we'll see the level 2 gank from Picnic?
No, I'm not actually calling for that right now. I think, especially in game 1 of a 3-game set, from my experience casting so far, most of the time the teams just want to fill each other out in lanes a little bit. Most of the times the ganks come in level 3 or 4. Just a prediction right now, bot lane so far very passive. Top lane, there's a little aggression going on. It's actually Gangplank chasing down the Kayle. Because, until Kayle gets level 3 to 5, it's really hard to keep your range attack up at all times.
And Xin
Gank is coming in bottom. And it looks like he is going to pick up the kill against the Scion there, getting first blood.
Where was Varus in that skirmish?
There's no real good answer to that.
I don't know that there's too much he would have been able to do there unless he had picked up his E to be able to zone out a little bit with some light CC, but I don't think it would have been enough.
We do have Victor and Vlad trading blows here a little bit. Nunu did pass through the middle lane there, but Nunu's ganks, it's kind of just like throw a snowball in its K. Nunu's more of like the late game helping your character hyper scale, so maybe Xin Zhao's going to take advantage of that, and it actually looks like he is, as he's going to pass through mid again there really quickly.
Although it looks like Nunu's going to try for a big gank up at top, try to stop some of Gangplank's hyper aggression.
As you can see, they're instantly countered by Monsumo there. You just eat an orange and it's K. Like, you eat the orange and Nunu's slow is gone. So, you know, that really shuts down Nunu's ganking capabilities at top as well.
And so far, with the exception of that gank at bot lane where Sion got picked off, it's pretty much business as usual.
Yeah, you know, like I said, game 1 of a 3-game set, we are going to see some just feeling out the teams. That Xin Zhao gank was actually very clean, and I'd look for him to either gank or counter jungle again here very soon, especially against a Nunu.
It looks like he's
really
coming into Nunu's jungle. Do you think he's going for that? Yeah,
oh, absolutely.
He's being aggressive.
Xin Zhao committing on the Nunu there, getting the proc. Nunu just going to laugh and walk away, quite literally. But, you know, that's advantage Xin Zhao again right there. He's showing that he has the dominance right now, and he really would do well to keep that dominance out. And, you know, he did ward. If you check out down there, he actually does have a deep ward in their jungle now, too. So he's playing everything right so far. You know, we take a look at the CS here. Gangplank actually has a large lead over Kale up top, which isn't really surprising, but it is surprising to me that Kale isn't trying to bully a little harder. I mean, already pushed a tower being the ranged auto attacker. It's a little bit questionable for me.
Absolutely. Both of the other lanes are maintaining pretty even CS counts. Actually pretty surprising that even with that catastrophic gank, Varus is managing to stay mostly caught up on CS down there. Maybe that's what he was doing instead of backing up his support.
And, you know, Varus' stopwatch is going to come up here soon. It looks like he actually has the only stopwatch in the game right now, so you can expect an aggressive play when that comes out. Or, you know, maybe he's hoping that Xin Zhao didn't see it, and that he can pop it to save himself. Because they are pushed up very far right now.
Someone has pointed out to me that Gangplank up top has started Relic Shield.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice. I mean, I can't really blame him. You know, Gangplank is definitely a thing. But you would think that with him starting that Kale would be bullying a little harder, and Kale's actually going to be the first back here. So behind on CS, already backing, they definitely need to get back and show some presence against this Gangplank here.
It's definitely interesting that Gangplank starts Relic Shield. By all accounts, everything is there for him to just play a super safe farm lane, but he's still opting to bully so hard.
You know, Nunu just tried a gank, if you want to call it that, in mid, threw a snowball, walked away. It looks like we are going to set up around that Infernal here. There is a control ward going down from Xin Zhao. I mean, Infernal is so clutch. 8% AP AD. It's several thousands of gold later in game for your whole team, basically.
And especially seeing as how both comps are oriented so much around big group fights, the Infernal is going to be very impactful later on.
Looks like Xin Zhao is going to start this now with support coming in from Xayah and Tarek. I really like there how Henlo actually knew, shoved, and prepared for this. Nunu is going to come around. I don't look for Nunu to do much except for maybe try to smite steal, which we will see here. Now they are going to bully the Nunu out of the pit there. I really see this going Henlo's way here. Maybe he's going to...
Varus is coming in. Maybe he's hoping to get some cleanup kills here. Oh, and he loses it. No joy for the Nunu.
And then the flash stun onto Rando Joe there, but Sion is going to back him up. You know, I don't even think Nunu should have tried that there. If you paid attention to what Henlo was doing, they actually completely stopped DPS on the Dragon to keep it out of Smite consume range. Nunu didn't seem aware of that, came in, tried to land it anyway, and found himself coming up about 400 health short, which was actually very well played by them. Like I said, I like the whole play, you know, the pushing the bot, the very smooth transition, and the stopping of DPS.
Definitely seemed like wrong place, wrong time for the Nunu. I think in his shoes, given hindsight, I probably would have been a better play to do some counter jungling maybe. Just find another objective to push, because as it was, there was nothing, no damage really done to Henlo's game plan by his presence there.
Absolutely not. You're going to see Xin Zhao just got his buffs back up. He's going to get a fresh blue, go back to base, and definitely be looking for more ganks. I look for him to actually go, I'm going to say bottom next, before the ultimates come into play. You know, Kale's already level 7. You're going to walk up there, try to gank Kale, and she's just going to be like, hit R and walk away.
Yeah.
So Xin Zhao would be wise right now to actually get down bottom, rush out a gank, push that advantage that they have right now, which is about a 2,000 gold advantage, plus an Infernal this early in game, plus Vision. You know, he's going to refresh that red, which gives him the burn, he's going to be...
Wow! Some incredible burst out of Vladimir there.
Yeah, that was actually
down.
Mid lane. That was quicker than I could catch, which I do apologize for. The all-in was so fast.
He flashed in. Wow, I have to admit, I'm not even sure where all that damage came from. But there, like you were saying, Xin Zhao probably should have picked a different lane.
Yep. Pressing R,
ooh,
walking
and the
away,
chunk
just
damage
as I predicted,
on the Gangplank
and the
there.
Huge ult coming into Gangplank there. So that went down exactly as I thought it would with the flash and the auto attack. Gonna pick up another kill for RMW. Very clean there. It's exactly as I predicted. There's no real
and we have
reason.
A pause coming in here.
That's absolutely fine just to catch up on the action here. There's no real perceivable reason, to really go up and press the attack on Kale. There's, you have that ultimate that's complete invulnerability. Nunu was right there ready to go. And there's a tough gank.
There's a couple of other factors that I'm noticing here, just as we have a moment to catch our breath. Xin Zhao is actually 2 levels behind Nunu, and crucially, level 6 is one of those levels. So especially in a scenario like the one that we're paused on right here, Xin Zhao doesn't have his ultimate to be able to really zero in on that 1v1.
And he is going to go down right now to the Vlad popping up to help. So, RMW is saying, you know what, casters, shut up. We're in this game. Stop propping them up. And I don't actually see them stopping getting this first tower here.
There's nothing to do there.
You are definitely right on the Nunu there. But, I mean, it's also hard for Nunu to not be up. I mean, with that consumed, the XP is so easy to get.
And I have someone in chat actually asking what the bans were from Henlo this game. If you give me a moment, I can... Henlo banned Warwick, Janna, Galio, Lulu, and Braum.
So we're going to see both teams reset here. I'd like to point out that Xayah has taken a CS lead in bot lane and has a kill and an assist over Varus there. Already rocking, the BF sword. Varus does not have that yet, so we're going to be looking definitely for Xayah to want to fight here soon. Ultimates are online in the bottom lane, which is why I thought Xin Zhao should have gone down before that was the case.
It definitely seems like Henlo should be focusing, like you said a few minutes ago, on that bot lane, because between having the Infernal Drake and, well, maybe it's too late now, but when ultimates weren't in play, it probably would have been all of the ingredients for a really strong 3 or 4 man gank down there to really take that turret out and get a few kills.
As you said, hindsight's 20/20. And there's comms and things that we don't understand that's going on their end as well. So we are not omnipotent in this sense. Excuse me.
Yeah, maybe if we were Riot.
So we are going to see Vlad's bullying in mid lane now at this point. He's got that leech and he's got the burst and he's got the double buff. So he's going to keep pressing that advantage and catch up on CS.
And he has gone for the cheeky Dark Seal, already sitting at 4 stacks. There's definitely an implicit message being sent to your lane opponent when you pick up a Dark Seal, I think.
Yeah, it's usually, in my case, it's I'm going to be 0-5-0 by 12 minutes.
Very true, very true.
So we are going to see some action, looks like going down bot lane here, or no, we're going to see some convergence between Xin Zhao and Nunu. Are they going to fight? They are going in.
Vladimir's
Xin Zhao
coming in
heavy
for
damage.
Oh, and Nunu's ultimate timed so unfortunately there. Xin Zhao was able to just do a quick Q3 combo and knock him out of it before any damage could really be charged up.
Both of them are going to go down at the same time as Sion goes down as well. So it looks like so far Henlo's going to win this fight. Excellent Taric ult there hitting for protecting them from Sion's passive. Going on to the Kale with the waist laser. Giving the kill to Xayah right there, despite Victor doing most of the damage. That's exactly what you want.
Varus is actually coming up maybe to intercept Xayah, though. I don't know if I think this is a good idea, though.
It's not a good idea.
And he's backing off. He realizes.
Backing off. Yeah, that was actually a really good play there on Xin Zhao's part to knock Nunu out of the ultimate right there. It was bloody on both sides, but Henlo definitely coming out on top of that skirmish. But despite that, they only have a 1,000 gold lead right now. This game is definitely still a toss-up.
And while that was all happening, Kale was actually able to secure the first tower at top.
and that's actually what's keeping that gold so close right now. That was what I was about ready to note. You know, Xin Zhao might have a free path to Herald right now if he so chooses. And it looks like he is going to go ahead and pick up the Herald. There's no vision there for RMW, so I don't really look at that to be contested, especially if he either pulls it out or to the back of the pit. So far, Suida top seems somewhat oblivious to him doing it, and Nunu wants the dragon.
In this context right now, if one team takes a Rift Herald, the other one takes a Cloud Drake, do you think that's an even, like, equal objective trade on both sides, or is one team getting the better of that?
I feel at this point in the game, absolutely, especially with their comp, I think that the Herald's a bigger pickup, because they're down a tower right now, and then this lets them get back into it, and if they want to, you know, it can be used for other objectives. You know, you can drop it at a tower and then rush another tower. It's great misdirection. But it looks like they are going to 3-man Drake right now. I don't see that being contested. And the thing about Herald, too, is you have to live in fear. Like, where is it going to be dropped? When are we going to use it? And what's going to be happening? Does he split push? It's just, there's so many variables to a Drake, a Herald, in using Shelly versus just having a Cloud Drake.
Yeah. And, honestly, even scarier still is its capacity to just bulk up the advantage gained from a successful team fight. If at this point Henlo can get a really successful skirmish in where they take down 2-3 of the other side and then drop Shelly into that gap formed by those deaths, they could push conceivably all the way to Inhibitor.
So in chat, let us know where you think they're going to drop Shelly Fitzgerald, the Stinky Rift Herald. Let us know where you think they're going to use it. We do see Nunu here going deep. Nunu's
and Tarek's coming in behind him.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nunu's kind of running it down mid at this point. If he gets caught, that's very bad. And it looks like he is gonna get caught out. Stun coming in from the Tarek with the dazzle. Blast clone being hit questionably by Xin Zhao there.
Yeah, that definitely might have given Nunu. Oh, what is Nunu doing?
Catching him out. Nunu continues to run it down mid. The ult coming out from the Victor. Xayah flashing in, piercing, not enough. Oh, Victor with the clutch flash. Nunu trying to resolve it with the ult, the Arctic Chill. Not going to finish anybody off. We got some blood coming out here. Rando Joe with the stopwatch. Sion going to go down to Victor's laser. Wow.
I'm going to be real honest with you, Tame. I have no idea what I just watched.
Exactly. That was... Wow. Nunu running it down mid and still somehow getting alive. Getting out alive.
At first,
interesting.
I thought Nunu was being really stupid, and then Victor blew his flash over the wall there, and I thought, wow, that is just a 4-dimensional Chinese checkers here, and it's a masterful bait. But then everything else happened. Literally everything else in that team fight indicated no, that was still a bad play. Looks like we got some pressure coming in, though, from Victor. Hoping to get that turret.
Sorry about that. I had some animal difficulties there for a second. A very upset dog.
Absolutely. It is why that's why I'm a cat person.
I mean, you could have gotten a Mongolian barking cat.
And now I almost certainly will. Thanks for the tip.
So, you know, we're going to see a reset here out of both teams. Advantage right now, definitely Henlo. Almost up double in kills. They have that Infernal over the Cloud. And we're seeing a 3,000 gold advantage here.
There's some very neat symmetry here, especially there's some very neat symmetry here with the turret being taken on Henlo, in Henlo's favor on the bot side, and in RMW's favor on the top. But all of that breaks down when you look at the vision game, because while both teams have shored up the zone of the jungle where they lost that turret control with very strong vision, only... Oh, wow. There's a lot of action going on here, so I'm actually...
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like we're actually going to see top here. Xayah dropping the ult of Featherfly coming in. Tarek dropping his ult as well here. Henlo in a great position there, synergizing with the Xin Zhao ult. He's just tanking turret shots for nothing, and then getting blown up by Kale. Kale also tabbing over, taking out Tarek. This is getting really bad for them. Oh my goodness, Suida with just that splash damage just crushing them.
It was like you said in Champ Draft. While Henlo has put together this really sick zoning comp, there are enough tools on the RMW side, and we saw Suida's splash damage, we saw the ulti coming in from Sion, able to just dismantle the defense.
Yeah, as soon as that, as soon as Tarek's ult ends, that leaves them largely defensive, which I don't know if you saw how fast Xin Zhao got blown up there. It was instant. He lost 80% of his health like the second he was allowed to think. But he will come in now and try to contest that turret. I think that would be unwise for him to try to do so, especially with the full health Vlad. He is going to get a pickup here from Tarek.
They did manage to pick up, in the midst of all that, the mid turret, so they're up in turrets. And another wave crashing in on the inner turret at mid, actually.
That tier 2 is going to fall to about 75% right here as we see both teams choose to reset again. We're going to see Baron spawning here in about 30 seconds. And, the next Drake's another Cloud. So if, 2 Clouds actually does make a pretty significant difference. If you start stacking that, that does get a little bit gross. You can get deeper vision, map awareness. It looks like right now, though, Tarek is not going to back. I was going to say, I don't see them stopping Xayah from taking this turret here, especially not with the Tarek. The Nunu's going to come in.
Although they are backing off.
Yeah, I guess they were using their vision there. They had some actual vision at the blue buff, and I think they caught the Varus coming in.
Might have been a slight overestimation of the players from RMW coming in to respond to that turret take, but better safe than sorry. Especially since, even in spite of that last really catastrophic team fight, Henlo still has a 3k gold lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now they're controlling the vision, and they just got another Drake, so they're not going to let them stack the 2 Cloud Drakes. So that 3k gold lead is just going to continue to grow right now. And they're actually, they're in mid right now, almost saying like, come at me. Xin Zhao's going to go back for a power spike. We're looking at item-wise right now. Gangplank already has Triforce. Kale still kind of putting some stuff together. There's no real huge items coming out yet, besides seeing the Essence Reaver on that Xayah, and we're seeing the Ginsus on the Varus. But one of the stories I'd like to point out too, dead even on CS and mid, 50 CS lead for Xayah in bottom, and a 4-kill advantage. So League of ADC, that is going to add up late game. We're seeing in the middle that disgusting burst coming out of Vladimir onto the Victor with the Electrocute proc.
It's interesting to note, as we look at, especially as you were mentioning, the ADC disparity and how that's going to come into the late game. It's interesting to note the tank itemization from both teams, or rather, the lack thereof. Because while Henlo, obviously you've got Gangplank, who basically is building as a bruiser, and Tarek, who's building very tanky support. On the RMW side, you've got Kale, who's building basically glass cannon.
We are going to see a commit here up top on Rando Joe with the clean pickoff until Xin Zhao overcommitted a little bit. Sion with the charge coming in. Featherfly going out. Excellent dodge of Sion's ult there from Xayah. I just want to commend that. That was amazing timing. Feeling that coming in, and you got to remember that Sion is coming out of the darkness, so that timing with the delay on her ult is even more impressive. So major props there to their bot laner chronology.
It looks like RMW might be hoping to rally a strong transition into the late game with a Baron take, with Sion taking out some of the vision.
And Tarek coming right, same thing as well. He's like, nope. If you can't have it, I can't have it. Nobody can have it. But we do still have that control ward there from RMW. And Xayah's going to take the top turret after masterfully dodging that Sion ult. That was very clutch. So mid lane here, I'm waiting to see Victor have more of an impact on this game. his second spike should be coming here soon as he begins to augment his abilities. That ult is a game changer, but the question is it more of a game changer than Vladimir's ult? And the question is usually no, unless you're ultra pro.
Which, as of yet, I'm just saying.
So I'd just like to point out here too, if you look at vision score, we're actually fairly even, and Sion's vision score is very impressive. He just hit 50. We're early in the game to have a 50 vision score.
He's definitely been trying to make up for a lot of the early failures in skirmishes with strong vision, setting up his team for more favorable engagements through that, but I don't know if it'll be enough at this point, especially when you look at the disparity between the two ADCs, and certainly a big part of that has to be laid at the feet of the two supports.
Yeah, definitely, but you really can't count Sion out, because late game he has that amazing knock-up, he has that huge tankiness, he just infinitely scales on his health.
Oh wow,
And
maybe a little engagement here at bot.
I was going to say, you're looking at the Devastate here, and top lane did switch out, but I'd be surprised if they fight. Gangplank with the barrel, Kale just like, yeah, we can both heal. Gangplank eats an orange, Kale calls upon God, so... I guess the powers are equal there.
Who would win?
One angry god or one vitamin C boy? I don't know. We'll find out soon.
Oh my.
Scurvy's nothing to mess with, man. Scurvy's up there with the Wrath of God.
I'd say so. But so far, Wrath of God has been doing pretty well if you just isolate the results of each top laner, with Kale carrying an impressive 4-1-1 scoreline.
We are going to see an engage here. Oh, Xin Zhao picking off the Nunu. Victor going into commit as well.
Oh, and Varus saved him. Wow.
Gangplank ult coming in, but as you said there, yeah, Varus with the clutch save. Wow. But, that's not how you want to use Varus' ult. You want to use Varus' ult to get a 3-man knock-up. You want to use Varus' ult to get, the huge Hemoplage and everything. It's good, but it actually puts him on the back foot, and you are going to see the re-engage here as Kale makes herself invulnerable. Vlad jumping in, going low, getting the kill, pulling back out. Will he survive? No, he's not going to survive. Featherfly coming out as the Devastate fails to catch anybody. We're going to have a 1-for-1 right there.
I do think that aggression onto Xin Zhao was exactly what RMW needed to do, independently of the horrible results that are coming out of it.
So you're going to see Rando Joe there just kind of being out of position and getting blown up, so we might be able to check off a bingo card here soon, and they really have nothing to stop Henlo's push at this point. This tower will fall. Suida does not have ult, so you can't look to see that infinite burst. Goodness, their Nunu getting stunned, caught out, blown up. Katanology is just ripping the enemy team apart right now with that score line of 7-2-3 versus a 1-4-3 Rando Joe. The CS lead is now up to about 70, and that should be a free Baron for Henlo. Wouldn't even be surprised to actually see them take Baron, engage, and then go down and get that extra Cloud Drake.
With Nunu down, for another 17 seconds, there is no hope contesting this Baron.
So they are going to back, reset, clear out the lanes, push it out. Wouldn't be surprised to see them sneak this Cloud Drake here. The red is up. It's going to be interesting to see if they save it for Xayah. It looks like they are. Xin Zhao would have went to it right there. RMW has to lick their wounds here, figure out how they're going to get back into this game, and Cloud Drake is not the answer, I can tell you that.
Although you can't count it out, and it might be a matter of not that the Cloud Drake will help them, but the other team not having another Cloud Drake. Because if you think about it, you just look at the numbers, Cloud Drake is really underwhelming until you have 3 of them, and then
Absolutely.
It's basically the equivalent of every single member of the team having a Moby Boots.
It's basically everybody becoming Quinn.
Exactly, and they're almost always in Ultimate.
Who basically, most of the people watching right now are probably like, who? Quinn?
No, we were talking earlier about the least meta pick, and that Quinn would be the least meta pick.
Quinn is definitely one of them, yet she's such an interesting champion. But sorry for the banter here, as we are going to see the resets coming in. Henlo shoving the lanes. I want to see them use the Baron, though, like actually make a push with the Baron, especially with the Drake control that they have right now. Almost a 10,000 gold lead, a 3 kill lead, and a fed ADC. They'd almost be foolish to not just, gather together right now, get the Baron shove, and it looks like that is what they're going to do.
Now, what do you
Rando
think...
Joe hides in a bush, runs behind his tower.
What do you think would be preferable here? Using the Baron to try to take the other two inner turrets and even out their map pressure, or just Lance formation right down mid and take an inhibitor?
I would say, honestly, at this point, with how dominant they are, the 10,000 gold lead, sometimes just running it down mid is the best idea. But it looks like they're actually going to apply dual lane pressure here.
Rando Joe certainly seems to think so.
Wow. Okay, you're officially banned from Risen and your team is disbanded. I hope he doesn't watch this VOD, or so help you God.
Oh, man.
So it looks like they are going to pressure bottom here. Sinjao going to clean up a little bit of farm mid lane here. So basically at this point we're waiting. We're just waiting for the fight to break out. We're waiting for them to say, you know what, hey, let's go. And it looks like we may have a commit here. Gangplank setting up the barrels, chaining in. That tower's going to fall easily. No, they're actually getting back.
Oh, another
Zion coming in with the
whip.
And amazingly, again, Katenology jumping over the Scion ult, just shutting it down, making it useless. Excellent 4-man dazzle ult there from Tarek. Scion trying desperately to use the passive, not going to work there. Rando Joe flashing away from Tarek's stun. Oh my gosh, that Xayah is clean. There is no other word for it. That is, the feathers are flying. The bird is the word in this game.
That was
the
just
only thing that can make me more excited right now.
From Scion.
Again, it wasn't even truly a whiff either. It was just Xayah being, you know what, come at me, bro. And it's not even a simple timing either, because the invulnerability doesn't start instantly on Xayah's ult. There's about a 0.15 second delay. It's when she gets to like the T in Feather Fly is when she actually becomes invulnerable. So you can't just insta press it like a Zhonya's. That's a lot of experience on that champion right now.
There was zero margin for error, and there was zero error.
Absolutely, that was sick. So I want to give again Katenology. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name, but again, if you watch his VOD back, great job. I hope you note your own positive play there and continue to grow as a player here in Risen.
And
so
as the Baron buffs are and the Baron buffs are completely wound down at this point, so
at this point it's up to Henlo to actually just come in and end the game, which it looks like they are going to jump onto the Nunu there. Nunu not going to get away from that Sinjao, I don't think. Gangplank going in with the flash and the parley, picking up the kill, flashing the Mastery 6. I don't know if I'd flash a Mastery 6, bro. That's your call, I suppose. Gangplank with the conceit right here, going in on Vlad, chunking him for almost a third of his health in one hit.
Very cheeky poke coming in out of that GP.
Absolutely liking to think he's Huni right now. Stun attempt coming in from Tarek and from Scion, both missing.
Oh, with Tarek's ult
is going to ult here. Hitting 4, they're going to take the third inhibitor here.
Kale stays alive long enough to do precisely Tarek.
Precisely Tarek. Absolutely. And Victor's going to go down here as well. But at this point, 3 members of Henlo are still up, and it is some heavy DPS. Nunu going to come in and probably try to ult here. Featherfly going in over Vlad to ignore the poke. Nunu trying in vain to ult, and it looks like game 1 is going to go to Henlo.
Meta team 1.
Oh, wow.
Sleeper.
Right there at the end, Xayah... They actually tried to kill Xayah, and she wouldn't even go down at the end as the Nexus was dying. Xayah's getting banned next game. Let me just put it at that.
Almost certainly.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the first game going to Henlo. Early game there, Risen's Most Wanted was showing some signs of brilliance with that Kale triple kill. Suida trying to carry. Couldn't really do it. You look at the post game here, we got massive gold advantages. That Gangplank, getting 15,000 gold in 30 minutes. Putting up, LCS, you'd see about 17,000. So that Gangplank is bordering on some MLG Pro. Level 17 as well, and really became the story for their team there at the end. Kind of got ignored, but got the, the IE, the Sterax, they had the Trinity, and it's just so gross.
And it's really important to notice just the disparity, just as I look at the damage dealt to champions graph. We talked about we've talked all along about that disparity that was forming between the ADCs, and Xayah was by far the most damage in the game, and Varus just barely did more damage than the Scion.
Yeah, that Xayah needs to be taken out. If RMW wants to come back, and I would imagine that they would, because, they look like they're playoff bound, but there's no guarantees. But if they do want to come back here, that Xayah needs to be taken out. I would honestly, at this point, get rid of the Xayah and the Taric. That Taric landed so many 4-man ultimates, and the timing was so clutch. It was just like I called, the Feather Fly making Xayah invulnerable, chaining into Taric's ult. I predicted that before the game, and the timing was perfect and beautiful.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, you have to look at what bans they will be losing in order to make those happen. And while I'm looking at it right now, I don't think that there's anything that would be too painful to not ban. I mean, if you're banning Xayah just to let Tristana through, you really have to question how effective that actually would be.
While Tristana is safe, she also doesn't have an instant outplay button like Xayah does, though, too. Like those Scion ults, if that was a Tristana and she jumped, Scion could have, in most cases, just continued the charge.
So
but against the Xayah...
So maybe it's a matter of playing... Scion is a very fun, kind of offbeat, quirky support pick that has kind of risen to prominence in the last little while, but, maybe a more traditional, something more traditional. Maybe another, I don't know, maybe Brand or something. Just something that can just swoop in and stomp a bot lane.
I would like to see the Brand pick because some say that the world will end in flames.
Some have said.
I'm not sure if you're a Brand player, but he has about 4 quotes. After a millennia, I am free is one of them.
I am not a Brand player. As a support main, Brand is permabanned.
Yeah, Brand doesn't say a whole lot. He's one of my favorite characters. I actually play him quite a bit in the Risen sets.
Good old perma-Brand.
He'll just, every 5, some say, the world will end in flame. And it's like, okay, but what else? After millennia, I am free. It just doesn't get any better.
We need a lore rework one of these days.
I mean, he actually references summoners as well.
I love how at the time Brand came out around the same time that, if I'm remembering correctly, Brand came out around the same time as like Vayne, Lee Sin, Maokai. These characters have very strong, vibrant backstories, and the meme with me and my friends way back when was Brand is basically just a dude on fire.
If I remember correctly, and chat can correct me here, absolutely, isn't he one of the experiments from Zon where they just like took somebody that was like kind of almost dead and just like sort of let him keep burning, but like kept him alive at the same time?
He's Warwick, but with fire instead of being a wolf.
Who is also like Mundo with being on fire instead of constant injections.
Oh, Riot. Get your crap together, dude. Get your poop in a group.
So we are going to have a round 2 draft here in just a second. I'm going to try to... You should be able to get the link out of the thing here in a second.
That would be nice. Oh, here we go. I was not in the lobby. I need to get my poop in a group, apparently. Yeah,
So while we're just, waiting for the draft here, let's get some banter going. What do you think about, how do you feel about the 8.4? Have you kept up with the notes so far?
So far, yes. I am really concerned because we just got a reasonably big support itemization change, and now we are getting a huge, comprehensive AP itemization change. Twin Shadows is in the game again? What? Just
top of that, the biggest thing about the AP itemization change that I feel is going unmentioned. Everybody's mentioning the complete items, but they are wrecking Lost Chapter. It's losing 5. It's becoming 250 gold more expensive. It's losing some of the mana. It's losing some of the mana on level up, and to me, that's devastating. As someone that plays a lot of Brand, a lot of Vel'Koz, I love to spam. I love spammy mages, and I feel like they're really cutting me out of that. But again, like you mentioned, that gives rise to like Xerath, who, rather than endlessly spamming, it's more of a calculated spam.
I would actually venture to say Morellonomicons is no longer insta-buy worthy.
Oh, I mean, it is right now. Yeah, pretty much even on mages that aren't recommended. But come 8.4, I don't see that really being the thing. With 8.4 coming out, it's losing a lot of its CDR, and it's basically going to be used as the Grievous Wounds now. Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be used when you're playing the brand support and you need to shut down, like a Janna ult who's redemptioning and ulting at the same time. You buy the Grievous Wounds, you hit R, and then nobody gets healed by their Janna ult and then redemption. But otherwise, right now, it's currently a must-buy for like 90% of mages, which is probably part of the problem. But
I I actually
I
have to
really
wonder.
love.
I have to wonder what's going to happen to poke spam AP mid laners like Lux or Orianna or Syndra. Like, are they going to be able to find good alternatives so that they can keep up that early game harass, or are they just not going to be as good anymore for a while?
And it makes you wonder too, does that open the window for some assassins, like the LeBlanc, the Talon. Talon's gaining 10 MR in the next patch. That's huge for mid lane. When
Yeah,
he can't
those.
be spammed out as easily, those
Yeah,
all-in assassins, when you're not going to have infinite mana to infinitely poke them and stop their farm now, those all-in assassins can actually get ahead again. So in that regard, it's healthy.
I would be really disappointed though, because I feel like right now some of the strongest junglers are assassins. You've got Kha'Zix, you've got even Lee Sin, who has somewhat assassin-y tendencies with his high level of mobility. And to see mid also get dominated by assassins at the same time, I struggle. I struggle to I kind of struggle with that as a player, especially in solo queue, because I really do feel like having two assassins in the game on a single team is a really risky proposition. And if assassins are the best in and we actually
We did
have the
just
pro
start pick
draft
bans,
here.
and they're going through really quickly. I was correct there. They did take out the Zaya. Henlo's still taking out the Galio. They're definitely taking out the Vladimir based on the effectiveness last game. That was one of their clutch plays. The Warwick looks like they're banning out a comfort pick again. So first phase is almost over. Again, I don't know Henlo's players, but I'm assuming that their jungler is sick at Evelynn since it's a first ban. And they are going to take the Gangplank again, which, you take out those other things. You said, what do they leave open? And that is what they left open, because the Taric is going to go down. The Taric had to go down. There was no way around that.
It was just too strong. Now the question is, are they going to assume that Scion didn't work because of Taric and go with him again, or is there going to be another pick? Well, they picked Varus again.
I definitely feel, a more traditional support coming out. They want to stay in this. You don't want to get O2'd. Game 1, you can kind of mess around, feel out the enemy team, hide some picks. Their back's against the wall right now.
They're
going to take the Kayle again.
They picked Varus and Kayle again.
I mean, the Kayle was effective last game, 6-2 and 2. I would have liked Suida to bust out his Cho'Gath personally, as Cho'Gath does hold the lane really well against Gangplank with that sustain on his passive. And last time we casted Suida, his Cho'Gath was sick.
There's the Tristana they didn't ban.
Tristana. But yeah, I think RMW definitely needs like a tanky engager. I'd look for like a Sejuani jungle or something like that in this game. Or if they go with an off-kilter support again, maybe a Shen support. There's the Braum again they're building another zoning comp. Tristana creates her own zone of safety, Gangplank with the barrels, Braum, just putting a shield up in front of his team. They're saying, come at me, and we'll find a mistake, and then we'll come at you. With their draft.
You know who I would love to see as a support pick on RMW's side?
Quinn?
Alistar.
Or Alistar.
To see Alistar. Ooh, Tom Kench. Oh,
they unbenched the Kench, which, Tom Kench is the great eraser of mistakes.
He is that.
You mess up, you get caught out, Tom Kench just eats you and barfs you out. So that is a pretty safe bot lane for them. They can now protect the Varus. Braum can't really do anything against that. They are going to ban out the Victor.
So it's going to be a completely new mid lane.
I'm not sure if I agree with the Victor ban. Maybe they felt a little more frustrated by it than it looked like it was to play against, and they are banning out my prediction there.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to go with the Sejuani jungle, and they're not going to be able to.
because I feel like it really makes sense for Henlo to ban out Vladimir. Vladimir kind of just being that thorn in their side. He just got a lot of really scary bursts in on Victor, but RMW, it seems to me, should be all too happy to let Victor through again.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Twisted Fate, they're banned too as well. Might be a comfort pick for Henlo that I'm not aware of, but I will note that Henlo's team logo is actually Twisted Fate. So, maybe there's something I'm missing out on here. We'll get
It's
a
got to be a
post.
matter of principle then.
Yeah, we'll get some post game interviews here and see what's going on. The Azir ban is not surprising. That Shurima shuffle is so good. Azir is getting wrecked even harder in 8.4. It seems like Riot's really trying to shake up the meta here soon. And there's the Jarvan that is that sort of tanky, engagey jungler that I mentioned. They kind of needed that right now. RMW's draft is similar to last game, but I feel better about it this game, especially going into the Kha'Zix. Later on, I'd definitely rather have the Jarvan, so as long as RMW can hold on and not let that Kha'Zix get fed or get fat, I feel strong. Oh my
Aurelion
goodness.
Sol.
Aurelion Soul hype, boys.
Oh boy. Okay.
Wow. Aurelion Soul? I want to see it, and I want to see it work.
Oh, I'm excited to see it too. It's just something I would expect RMW to pick, not Henlo.
Whoa, shots fired
No
there,
shots,
man.
no shots. I just think, RMW has
Oh,
shown. Oh, wow.
and the Echo.
Oh, you want to talk about great erasers of mistakes?
That's
If
going to be a very interesting mid lane to
you've
watch
got,
here.
it's like an entire team built around saving your teammates' butts when they do something dumb.
Absolutely. It's just this mid lane is going to be exciting to watch, especially the counter jungler with the early aggression from Kha'Zix versus the sort of stonewalling of Jarvan. Top lane, we sort of got a preview there. It's going to be farmy. Bot lane should be pretty safe on both sides, so it really falls to mid and jungle to make this early game exciting. With that said, I would really, really like to see Phoenix from Echo Fox play Echo, so it could be EKKO Fox.
Oh my god.
Just tossing that out there.
Oh my god.
On the 0% chance that you're watching, Phoenix, please play Echo for me.
Oh boy. I'm just looking at this lineup, and I'm definitely feeling like, for the most part, it's two teams that are built around get your ADC fed and ahead.
So we do have the bingo going up here again in the chat, and I'd just like to toss it out here. Let's see. So far, Galio banned. We got one here. Joe PMs me depressing things is one. Tom Kench fist clicks W.
Oh my god.
Echo dies without ulting. I'll be looking for that one personally.
Yep. Kale dies without ulting, I bet.
Joe tosses out the sad face in chat.
Only if he's listening to this cast. Yeah, I feel like Rando Joe cannot possibly feed with this comp.
I mean, it's up to the Tom Kench. He is subbing in for them today. Maybe the Tom Kench has just had enough of him.
He's just gonna spit him out into the enemy team.
Or maybe here's a scenario. Think about this: Gangplank gives an orange to Tom Kench, makes him sick, and makes him barf out Varus in the wrong direction.
This kind of sounds like, how like the old Yu-Gi-Oh anime would like constantly have them making plays that have nothing to do with the rules of the original game. Like if those same guys made a League of Legends anime, that would probably be something
absolutely.
that would happen. My comp has no pathetic champions.
Or there could also be. Let's think about it this way. Echo accidentally feeds Tom Kench his resonance driver. Tom Kench goes to spit out Rando Joe, and his ultimate activates from the hole inside of Tom Kench, putting him back 6 seconds, making him barf Rando Joe directly into Kha'Zix. These things can happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, there's so many bugs related to Mordekaiser. It could happen. I'm just saying, some of the weirdness that's happened with the spaghetti that is Riot Games' League of Legends.
So remember, small indie company, by the way. But we'll see here in the Discord. It looks like Rando Joe's hot dog is now sad, and it also looks like he's just getting lit up in the Risen Discord. So if you guys could please be nice, we would appreciate that.
Yeah,
we want to have a Risen to come back to
bullying
next
kills,
season.
Guys.
Yeah, we're declaring the general chat a bully free zone.
Just to remind you, for people who are now joining us here, Henlo is up 1-0 on RMW as we head into Game 2. Champions are just now being selected, so we've got about 4 minutes out from the game start.
We're going to go ahead and use one of those 4 minutes to declare the Risen Discord as a bully-free zone.
Oh, looks like we've got a new Joe doesn't play Game 2. Oh, that is not nice, guys. Come on.
We have officially declared a
Caster
bully-free
reads
zone.
off bingo card again. Shut up. Oh,
it's
Ralush.
Like they don't want them to be looked at.
We got to do something while we wait for the delay. Kale is still useless.
No, that actually was not true last game. Kale was actually one of the equalizers in that game, and if it wasn't for that triple kill top, they actually would have lost 2 turrets there, almost guaranteed. That Kale was actually clutching up there. But yeah, just to flashback, Game 1 MVP, would you give it to the Xayah or the Gangplank? Xayah was clutch the whole game, but Gangplank at the end really cleaned things up and secured the game. But it could also be argued at that point, when Gangplank started cleaning up, that Xayah had already snowballed to the point that it was over.
I actually have a slightly different direction. I think that I would give MVP to Xin Zhao.
For the constant pressure, counter jungling, and good ganks.
Because just even from that very first skirmish bot lane, Xin Zhao had that perfectly timed level 3 gank, came in, he's able to get Scion, and just from there, the snowball kept rolling.
That's true, and you know what? We'll see this game. If one of those 3 definitively takes MVP, we'd like to get you in here for a post-game interview. Chat about the series, but let's not end it at 2 games. Let's take it to 3. I want to see that Echo go 24-0 and then rewind in time and go 0-24.
Well, not if Ralush gets their bingo. Echo dies with ult and Zanya's up. Little Swidby ints if he doesn't get Galio or Vlad. Oh my. Casters keep saying random. Okay, that's just hurtful, and I can't say that on the stream.
They don't want banter.
They don't want banter. What's wrong with them?
We're just gonna sit here and just ever listen to those sleep sounds and just start playing thunderstorm noises
yeah, just nice zen ambiance music. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. I could just pull a donkey and pull up Wonder Putt.
There you go.
I remember when Donkey played League of Legends.
Those were dark times, my friend.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. He brought something to the game. But of course, it's a different game now. Got 30 seconds of spectator delay yet, so those of you who disapprove of our banter, first of all, suck it, and second, just hang in there. We're almost into game. I really do feel, though, that having been just terrified of that constant pressure from Just that constant pressure from Xin Zhao, letting Kha'Zix through. That could be really, really terrifying.
But in their defense, I mean, Kha'Zix wasn't shown first game. Might not show up when they're OPGG. You know what I mean? It might not be as much of a comfort pick as much of a closeout pick.
True that.
So it's one of those things where you can't really ban that which you do not know. That sounds like something that Xin Zhao would say, I think.
Or him or Lee Sin.
What you do not know. That's true. That's a Lee Sin quote.
Oh man, so much platinum and diamond borders here. I'm kind of intimidated.
Yeah, it's actually making me feel more incompetent than usual.
Yeah, like I'm dumping on these guys.
I mean, we're all challengers here.
I fully expect to get 10 1v1 me scrub private messages like 5 minutes after the game.
I think we should have another 1v1 Risen tournament. The first one was right at the beginning of the season, and I didn't get to participate. I was voted best mid in Rampage, and I would like to prove it.
Oh, congratulations. I did not know that.
I mean, I think it was mostly my team. But,
I was not voted top support in Rampage. Well, 2 people thought I was good, I guess. And
mayhap we shall meet in the playoffs.
Mayhap we shall. All right, and we are into game. Both teams spawning in. First off, do we see any surprises in the runes here?
No, everything looks, fairly standard here. Gangplank taking the Relic again, going for the Bankplank build. Bot lane both going Dorans and Relic. The only surprise I would see starting off the game that's even slightly odd is check out what Aurelion sold his first bot.
Corrupting Potion.
Very interesting. Must be planning to just proc the Star Wave onto people with the Corrupting Potion. And it looks like Henlo is going to try to... Yeah, they are going to go for the invade here. Tom Kench is going to run away back to the bench for the Kench. RMW does have a ward there, so you're going to know what's going on.
Look at that sneaky Jarvan move, planting the deep ward right behind the entire...
That actually, absolutely good catch there. Stopping to flash the Mastery 6. I've never wanted to flash a Mastery 6. I feel like unless you flash a 7, you're just showing you haven't played the character that much. Just a personal opinion.
I actually do wish that they allowed you to flash like lower masteries, because I would love to have like a Yasuo mid or something be flashing Mastery 7 at me, and then I just dunk on him and I flash Mastery 0.
Like a garbage can with a piece of paper burning it.
Like, wouldn't that just be wonderful?
That would actually be wonderful. So we're gonna see both junglers start at their red here. Pretty standard start, a little bit less aggression this time.
Yeah. So definitely doesn't look like Picnic is hoping to
looks like actually look at this Jarvan coming in middle here. Can he secure the level 2 gank? Knockup coming in onto the Asol. Flashes going out from both Jarvan and Asol. Can they secure the kill? Kha'Zix actually coming out of the jungle to save his teammate. Kha'Zix flashing in aggressively. They're getting the electrocute on the Jarvan. Starwave coming in here from Asol. Echo ready to grab the first blood. What amazing game sense there from Little Swede. That was awesome.
Needed to back off there. I mean, yeah, it was tempting to see Kha'Zix going in, possibly getting that counter jungle kill, but ooh, that's rough.
Oofy's is right, but wow. I mean, it's not only that, you actually have to give a commendation to Echo there for actually, being aware enough of knowing when their cooldowns were out to hop back in and not get eaten by Kha'Zix.
Yeah. So we look up at top lane for a second. It looks like this time Gangplank is not being allowed to bully quite as hard as in the first game. Kale is actually staying up in CS here.
Especially, Kale just hit 3 as well. So once you hit 3 as Kale, you have that basically 80 to 100% uptime on your ranged E. The Righteous Vengeance, I believe it is called. And Kale's actually building up a pretty good wave there against the Gangplank and roaming down, maybe looking for plant. Nope, getting a ward there. Bot lane right now very passively. Take a look at CS. It is dead even in bot lane. Varus keeping up this time, dead even in mid jungle, and almost dead even in top with Kale with a small lead. Lots of pings going out here. Vision pings going out. Echo committing hard onto Asol and just ripping him up there in the middle. That electrocute Echo is nasty. His base damages are so good. You know, he's level 4, so he has that full combo now.
It definitely looks like the mid laners are setting a pace to play roughly the same mid lane as last game, with Henlo mostly staying in the advantage, but RMW's mid laner just slamming on the other guy.
We see here Kha'Zix is in the counter jungle position right now. Kale going for the commit, probably being baited here by the Gangplank, looking for the Kha'Zix to come in, and he will. Kale does not have ult here, so I do not see how he lives through this with the flash. Reek committing.
Another
possibly
beautiful
just knowing they were
level 3
dying
game
there.
from Picnic.
Yeah, absolutely there, and I believe Gangplank, you know, baited there with the removed scurvy, killed for 163. Otherwise, he would have been dead. It forced Kale to commit, but as far as I could tell there, I believe Kale vision pinged on the Kha'Zix. So I'm kind of wondering, maybe Kale thought she could pick off Gangplank before it went down. Either way, it's a race now. Teleported back. We're 1-1 on kills now, within 100 gold of each team. Take a look down at the bot lane here. We just basically just have another farming session going on. These bot laners are both very safe. Braum is actually going to pop out Laugh Emote 2 as he does nothing in bot lane. So we're going to see that there. Landing the Q onto the Varus. Again, it's between the bot laners, the harass is almost conciliatory. Like, we have to do this. We are playing against and we hate each other, so we must poke each other. But ultimately, they're going to be looking to farm.
It's pretty dead even, and actually until just about a minute ago, both of them had lots of vision up all over Tribush and River wards, so it definitely seems like RMW at least is a little wary of that early jungle pressure.
Yeah, and if you look at vision score right now, nobody really has anything laid down yet. Kha'Zix leading the vision score, but only by 1, and then Gangplank only has 1 point of vision score. So, you know, we're going to first back here. We're definitely going to see some wards coming out.
It's always really rough early on just because of how vision score is calculated. Wards kind of have to be out for a while before they start.
Yeah, they have to be up for a minute.
Jarvan sneaking in back here for a lane gank, possibly. But I don't know if Braum and Tristana will take the bait.
Yeah, I think right now Jarvan might actually be looking to go back to get the second part of his jungle item. Although he went for the early aggression with the 2 longsword purchase, which you're also seeing Kha'Zix do right now as well. You know, they don't really need the burn. They're more of the single target killers early on, so it is a good purchase. It does make things like Herald and early Dragon a little harder, though, but actually we're going to see a commit here from Echo onto the Aurelion Soul. I don't know. Oh, he blasts them away. I'm not sure if Echo's going to pursue. No, it looks like not. And we do see a kill go down up top as I was commentating on the middle.
That might... yeah, it looks like it was a tower dive from Kha'Zix, but... on the other hand, though, RMW taking advantage of Kha'Zix's presence up there and the pressure gained in mid lane to possibly take a first Drake.
The first Drake here, definitely. But they're going to get a little beat up over it. You notice Jarvan already lost over half of his health. So if they want to come down, no, I think they're just going to let it. But, you know, a Mountain before first tower is pretty effective. You know, that 10% true damage on the towers. A Mountain, I feel, is underrated a lot of the times. People will just kind of let it up, almost as if it was a cloud, and I think that's a bit silly. I'm definitely liking the Jarvan jungle more than a new jungle so far.
Certainly seems to be working better for them, allowing them to take a lot more direct agency in the game. Wow, massive, massive tower dive from Echo onto Asol, but he has to bug out.
Yeah, I mean, he did force Asol to blow summoners, and again, Asol bought a Dark Seal after the Corrupting Potion. I'm almost wondering, like, are they just waiting to scale? But are they going to scale with no items? So far, they've been getting torn apart by this Echo in mid lane, who has now taken a 1-kill lead and a CS lead as well.
Yeah, you were talking about the message sent when you buy a Dark Seal, and I definitely think it's a different message when when you buy it after you go 0-1 and 0.
Yeah, that's but again, they may be knowing that they're going to scale. They may have faith in their team, which is a good thing to do. Going to get some pressure down here from RMW at bot lane, but Kha'Zix is lurking right around there, so we might have some stuff going down here. Echo and Acel are kind of butting heads in position right now. Vision-wise, it looks like RMW has the win down there, and we are going to see the commit coming in. Jarvan going after the Gangplank here, after the teleport. Looks like he will bring him down, or no, he's actually going to escape. Ooh,
that
much
is
ado
a
about
shame.
nothing.
With 4 present in bot lane, RMW could not secure the kill on Gangplank.
But you know, summoners are blown, and it's letting Kayle push top right now. Any damage put into that tower early is going to help. It gets lets her catch up and farm a little bit. She's down 14 right now, which is pretty significant. Also 0-2, taking 2 tower shots though.
And I do have someone here in chat correcting me here. The Dark Seal actually is there for the increased healing from potions, since Acel did start corrupting potions.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. We are going to see the commit. Oh my goodness! Amazing stopwatch there to dodge the Kha'Zix missile and the Braum Fissure ult, but still going to go down, but still props on the timing. Although you could ask, is it worth using if you know you're still going to die?
It's like,
yeah, I was going to say, I thought maybe, you know, Echo was going to shift over and back him up, but that didn't happen. Not 3v2. It would have been a silly move, I'm assuming they're saying there.
And first turret is down for Henlo in the bot lane.
I mean, the story of the game so far, you got their ADCs 2-0 again. We're looking at Katenology being 2-0 this early in the game with a 9 CS lead. Joe is just doing Varus things at this point. So we're going to have to see how this goes.
Kind of looks like Picnic was focusing a little bit more on top lane, trying to keep Kayle from getting as far ahead as early as she did last game. But now that he's got that nice little 0-2 onto Kayle, he's kind of back down to bot and focusing there, trying to get Katenology ahead, like last game.
It looks like here they might go for an attempted gank on the mid. Kha'Zix with the invis, and no. Echo's like, I'm gonna back off, and even if you do gank me, I can jump back 6 seconds in time. So right now, bot lane is poking around. Kha'Zix going for the counter jungle into the red side here. Mid is going to commit again. Echo hopping on and then hopping away. Jarvan was looking for a gank up top. There's so much stuff happening all over the spectrum right now. It looks like Jarvan is going to go behind tower right now. Is Gangplank going to hunt him down, or just letting him know that he's there? Jarvan with the counter gank there, taking the Gromp. And it looks like RMW is once again going to start on the Herald. Shelly Fitzgerald, the Stinky Rift Herald, will go down quickly here to RMW.
But
I don't think they're going to
contest.
Actually, you're right.
And
yeah,
Acel, and oh my, it looks like we might be getting the
oh,
first
here comes the
major
collapse. Acel there
confrontation
with
of
the passive proccing around. Gangplank with the ult to zone them out. Braum saying, you're not going to hurt my team, I'm going to hurt you. Echo popping his W there. Not a whole lot. You know what, just a disengage on both sides, but resources there wasted. On RMW side, they committed there. They could have cleared some jungle camps. They could have rebuffed. I mean, their red's up right now. May have actually been wise to think about that instead of going for the commit without the full vision.
Interesting to note, though, that Henlo, though they did manage to disrupt the Rift Herald enough that they could not take it, did not put any direct vision in the pit.
No, they didn't, and I think, you know, they don't actually have any around there at all now that I look at it. So you can see there's actually 4 or 5 sources of vision out right now. So the vision advantage is definitely going to RMW, but the gold advantage, you know, 3,000, 3 kills in favor of Henlo right now. So we're just seeing both teams kind of reset and cycle here. We are going to see an Infernal Drake here coming up in about 30 seconds. So actually 10 seconds. Wow, time goes by so fast when you're having fun. We're definitely going to see a fight there. Acel now being able to bully Echo a little bit out with his star chunks. And it looks like we are going to see an immediate engage from Henlo onto the Dragon here. I do not blame them. They have a stronger team fight right now. Teleport coming in. Tom Kench and Varus both coming into zone. Jarvan, everybody pouring in all at once. We're going to have a fight, boys. So far, RMW winning the zoning war. Echo getting bullied out a little bit there by Braum, pulling the Dragon out of the pit and resetting it. RMW, again, uncommitting to something that they went for, giving Henlo priority on the Dragon positioning. Again, wards going down all over the place. Control ward in Henlo's favor right now. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this. That's a tough one there.
Very strong forward positioning from Braum there, leaving himself open to a potential pincer, but just having the confidence to know that he could stand there and take it.
And then at one point when RMW actually had the positional advantage and priority on the Dragon, they sort of just disengaged, and I think they're scared of Henlo's team fight. But at this point, when you're down, you have to find advantages. You can't go for it. Just that, and they're going to pop the Gangplank ult, and Kha'Zix's going in on the Jarvan, making him blow the flash. Looks like that might be good enough for them. They're just going to take the blue, eat the flash. That's a big setback for Jarvan. He is a somewhat mana-dependent jungler, and he's about empty right now. So that's basically going to force a back out of the Jarvan. And then even once he comes back up, he's not going to be able to spam with impunity, clear those camps quickly. You're going to look over and see Gangplank again, just pushing that top turret, getting fat, getting tank planky, getting bank planky, becoming that endgame monster that we all hate and hate upon hate.
And if he gets this up top turret, he has put his team in very good stead to take Rift Herald.
Absolutely, and it looks like they are positioning around it right now. Braum getting the ward. They do get the turret. Echo actually sort of in a bad position. No, they're not going to collapse on him at all right now. Kha'Zix's just getting farmed up. I look for him to probably get his blue here in a second before they go for any more fights. Might pass it off to Acel. No, he's going to go for the Gromp. And it looks like Braum is incessantly pinging, like, let's do this. And then he gets into his tiny sleigh, pulled by his little Poro friends, and he's like, forget you guys. I'm out. I'm going home. Shelly Fitzgerald can stay in her little pit.
Boy, it sure does seem like there's not going to be much for RMW to do to rally in the mid game if they don't start looking at some of these objectives.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out there, that was kind of cool. If you just saw Tom Kench eat the scuttle and then barf it out towards Jarvan, so they got that vision advantage there at the pit without any commit on or risk of being in the river. So we're going to see gathering middle and now, just posturing, playing a little bit of ARAM.
Gangplank has TP up, so he is completely free to push in and possibly take the inner turret at bot lane. If Henlo can delay the fight for long enough.
Positioning aggressively at the Rift Herald there, and at this point there's really no reason not to. With Acel having that full commit there, you know, with the star shards and everything, being able to dive in, get that big stun with the Galaxy Twist. So it looks like they have Herald. What are they doing? They took Herald way, way out of the pit and forced a reset on it. Again, we just have some more posturing. You can see top lane switch there with the turret being down. Farm-wise, right now, Gangplank's up about 20. Kha'Zix's up 10. Middle's negligible. Bottom's basically negligible. And we are going to see Kale here try to go in on the Gangplank, actually getting blown up. That ult's going to wear off. Yeah, I was going to say that ult is going to wear off before you kill that Gangplank. Again, baited with the removed Scurvy. He ate an orange and it's K. Jarvan, however, taking the Herald. It's still laying there. Nobody's picked it up yet. And is Kha'Zix going to get it? Nope. Gangplank's going to pick up the Herald here.
Very clean. He took out Kale and immediately was just ready to TP in to finish the fight. Make sure they got Rift Herald.
That was absolutely gross right there. With the zoning and the posturing, especially after Gangplank finishing off the kill, knowing they had the advantage, especially with the TP. Varus just now finishing his Rage Blade compared to Tristana, who's rocking a BF sword and a Shiv, but has not been back to base yet.
Following this turret, we are looking at a 7.5k gold lead for Henlo.
Reaching points of insurmountability at this point. We're going to need to see a strong commit from RMW, a pick, a mistake, or even if they don't make a mistake, they might just have to force a fight with confidence in their own abilities.
And chat has just pointed out that Echo did in fact die with ult up.
Really? Well, I mean, you can't dump on him too hard. From where they were fighting, it might have not even... It really wouldn't have even moved Echo that far back. I mean, yeah, they heal, but it's like, if you're gonna die anyway, it's kind of a waste. Like Rando's stopwatch down at the bottom.
Yeah, but stopwatch was a one-charge thing that you lose forever when you use it until you finish building the Zhonya's, which, if you're, you know, not building Zhonya's, it's just gone.
If you're not styling on people, what are you really playing for?
Not losing 2-0?
That's true.
They're
gonna Echo go in on the Kha'Zix here and just get blown up, try to use his W to run away. Jarvan's stuck.
That was
just
a very desperate play there.
Absolutely, there. Echo just got eaten, and he actually tried to use his initiation tool to basically run away. Poking Acel as Gangplank uses the ult to zone here, gonna get picked up by Tahm Kench, barfed out. Tahm Kench is gonna go down.
And I will note that Echo just died with ultimate up again.
We're gonna see Kha'Zix go down here at tower and kill down at the tower as well. Gangplank pushing top with a split using the awesome ultimate. Seems like letting that Gangplank up wasn't a mistake, and not kidnapping and hurting Katenology in real life was also a mistake.
Now, there's an interesting thing that's been bandied about in chat a couple times. This idea that maybe the right play for Kayle here now is to build Ardent Sensor. What are your thoughts?
I mean, if you're this far behind, does an Ardent Sensor really make a difference, is the question. I mean, it is a niche thing that can happen.
But is it going to make... Could it possibly make more of a difference than a more traditional build path?
I don't think so. Not at this point in the game. I mean, we're talking an 11,000 gold lead, a full objective control lead. I mean, Kha'Zix right now just blatantly 1v1ing Tahm Kench in the enemy's jungle there. They're sending 3 people up to chase a Gangplank who's most likely going to get away here. Yeah, and it's just going to let them have another Drake. They have a Cloud and an Infernal now with that map presence. The Cloud letting them get around even faster, taking even more of a gold lead. 5 towers to none.
Now, it certainly does seem like the situation is dire for RMW at this point. I mean, in solo queue, this is the kind of game where FF at 20, it's over, you know? But let's talk paths back into the game.
There's the path right there. They are going to initiate on the Baron. Gangplank with the ult for the zoning capabilities here. Suida getting blown up because he's not going to have the ult. Who's going to pick up the Baron here? We'll see here in just a second. Echo does get the Gangplank. Jarvan going in with the ult, but Acel coming in, blowing everyone up there. Oh my goodness. His pass is just wrecking everyone. Echo desperately trying to get away. It's not going to be enough, or no.
Henlo made it. Oh, and the question mark pings are coming down onto where Echo just died. And we actually have a DC from the side of RMW.
Rage quit. Tahm Kench ate his own something and quit the game. And we're going to have an FF in a hype-casted game. Shame on you guys.
Well, I don't know if I'd say hype cast, but, you know, if
this
you insist.
Was the hype
if
cast.
You insist.
It was voted as the hype game of the week.
All right. Wow. That was something. Once again, it doesn't seem accurate to say that this one so much came down to the ADCs. Though there was a very similar disparity, the jungler really was able to push the pressure in the top and the mid lanes. And wow, Aurelion Sol got ahead early, Gangplank got ahead early, and they just did not stop being ahead.
No, and then, you know, the Gangplank up at the top, we were only like 22 minutes in, he already had, you know, the IE, he already had the Trinity Force, he already had another Warhammer, completed boots, 184 farm. That's gross. He was level 13, which was tied with his mid and highest XP in the game. But Cadenology did go 8-0-2, really picking up the kills in that game, not dying at all.
Very
So
impressive
again,
scoreline, to be sure.
absolutely. And at this point, it's really hard for me to actually discredit the Gangplank as the MVP. They had 3 clutch ults in that game that created zones for the team fight. They bullied them off of all the objectives, controlled the Drake with the ult, doled the Kale 1v1 bottom with the quickness and the presence of mind to know exactly how the fight was going to go down. I don't know if you agree with me, but I would hand Series MVP to Monsuno there.
I don't know, because it's complicated for me, because the zoning, there was a lot of definite zoning that came down in team fights, objectives, critical moments from Gangplank and his ultimate. But on the other hand, there was so much just constant pressure and zoning that came from Picnic's presence as Kha'Zix's very strong assassination. And a lot of that was only possible because of the very strong vision control that was happening, mostly because of Braum.
Also true. So, let's just toss it up if we feel like each one's an MVP. Monsuno or Picnic, if you're tuned in or you're in the Risen chat, if you want to come in for a post-game interview to talk about your set, let us know. And if not, that's fine too. We'll give you a minute here to see if you guys want to pop in.
Yeah, we get Monsuno. Awesome.
All right, so you and I are going to need to pop out a channel. I will meet you in the General 1.
I will see you there.
Back in. Waiting on Monsuno to join us here.
Alright, let me mute the stream. Hi, I'm right here.
Hi, Monsuno.
How you guys doing?
Good. Pleasure to have you here with us. I personally voted you as Series MVP.
That's kind of you.
Congratulations.
I just wanted
a very strong performance, both games.
Clean.
I gotta say, it's all my teammates. I just cue the creeps and press R, and they do all the damage.
Now, there is one thing that I'm really curious about. You kind of had the interesting scenario where you played the same top lane matchup, Game 1 and Game 2, and it went very differently for you in those 2 games, where your opponent was able to get very far ahead. In spite of your team's win, you kind of had a rougher time of it in Game 1, whereas in Game 2, you just blasted ahead right from the start and were able to maintain very strong zoning with your ultimates. And I'm just curious, what do you think went differently for you in the top lane between Game 1 and Game 2 to account for that?
Well, the difference between the 2 games definitely had to come down to the jungle pick that we had in Game 2. Kha'Zix against Jarvan, it's like hands down, Kha'Zix can duel Jarvan at any point whenever he wants. So I just had the confidence knowing that Picnic had my back doing whatever I wanted in the laning phase. So I had opportunities to walk up and pressure Kale wherever I wanted, and we got some good ganks off and some repeat ganks that made him scared to come walk up to the creeps.
Absolutely.
So, question I have for you, at about 12 minutes in the second game, did you know you were going to win that dual bottom, or were you hoping you would win that dual bottom?
No, I knew the instant. I was actually not looking at my screen when he walked up the first time, but as soon as I pressed space and came back to my character, I looked at him at 75% health and only a quarter mana, and I knew that there was no way that he was going to beat me. Like, the item spike that I had at the moment, I think I don't know if I completed it Infinity Edge, but I had a BF sword and tabbies, and it was just, he doesn't have enough damage to beat me, and I can last out his ultimate.
Absolutely. That's what I was calling as we were casting there. I was like, I don't think Kale's ultimate is going to hang on long enough, and then you ate an orange and everything was okay. But excellent job. I was very big on admiring your zoning there with the ultimate. You were very clutch, and I want to thank you for playing today and joining us in the chat.
Well, thank you for casting the games and picking us as Game of the Week.
It is absolutely our pleasure.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening, you guys.
You too, man. Thanks for playing.
Well, that's going to about wrap it up for this week's hype match. Unless you have someone else you'd like to bring in to interview.
I got my interview out of the way. That was the person I wanted to talk to. I got my questions out of the way. I just want to thank everybody for tuning into View today. I am Tame. I'm here with Author Cook. I just want to say that'll be all from me. Author, if you want to send it out.
All right. Once again, for those of you just tuning in, which I hope you're not because you missed the show, RMW today taking a 2-0 defeat from Henlo. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.